Hi everybody, welcome to the Steelers Nation Unite Weekly Huddle presented by Hyundai. I'm Missy Matthews, joined today by Mike Mitchell. Thanks so much for joining us. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you. Thank you for having me.
All right, we have a ton of questions for you, Mike, so let's jump to them. This first one is from Lance Myers. He wants to know, who are the people who have impacted your football career the most?
I guess just starting out, obviously my father and my brother got into football. I'm the youngest in my family. I have an older brother. Something he did, I think as a kid, you want to do everything your older brother does. So that's kind of how I got started into it. Obviously fell in love with it. And then since then, it's just been those two pushing me along this path the whole way. But I've had a bunch of influential people. Those would probably be the biggest two, but I had a really good high school coach in Dale Mueller. I had a really good position coach at Ohio University, and Coach Burrows. I have the best coach I probably had in my life here in Coach Tomlin. So I've had a bunch of influential people.
Okay. Steelers Girl 52 says, hi, Mike. Love having you as a Steeler. Since you're playing on Christmas Day, is there anything different you'll do to celebrate the holiday?
No, I just want to win. That'll be the best gift I can get. We just want to do everything we can to win the game.
All right, this next one is from PK1. Much love to you and the team on Sunday. What, if any, is your Christmas holiday tradition or your favorite food to eat?
My mom usually makes a really good breakfast pizza. That probably sounds crazy if you haven't had it, but it's really delicious. We used to eat it every Christmas as a kid. Probably haven't had one in 8 or 9 years. So
Yeah.
They'll be up here for this Christmas. Hopefully I'll get her to make one.
There you go. All right, this is from SNU 14. Mike, I'm also an Ohio University Bobcat. Just curious, when you lived on campus, which green did you live on?
West Green. I lived in Ryers for a year, and then I lived in Sargent, and then I moved to the south. I moved in River Park Apartments.
All right.
OU, oh yeah.
Good memory.
They'll know what that means.
All right, Canada 1 says, Merry Christmas. Why number 23? Does it have a meaning?
Not really. It was just the coolest number here. Rob G didn't want to give me 21. I offered him $20,000. He didn't take it, so 23 it was.
All right. This one is from James. Who has the biggest mouth on the team?
It depends on what setting we're in.
Okay, so on the field.
Yeah, on the field. Maybe. That's a good one. I'm thinking for offense, it's got to be Rosie or AB.
Okay.
Rosie Nix always getting into it with linebackers. I mean, he's a fullback, so they're always hitting, going at it every day, and he loves everything about his job. And then AB, he feels like no one can touch him, and rightfully so. On defense, there's not a whole lot of trash talkers on our side. Obviously, I think I'll put myself in there somewhere. And then, yeah, maybe Cam Hayward if you get him mad.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
But you have to get him mad. That's really the only other person I can hear saying some things or getting chippy, getting into it. But you have to do something dirty to him first.
Okay. Kimberly wants to know, what did you ask Santa for this year?
A win against the Baltimore Ravens.
Okay.
And I didn't even ask Santa. I prayed to God for that one.
Joshua wants to know, what is your favorite Christmas movie and why?
How the Grinch Stole Christmas. It's just a good movie. I think it's the one with Jim Carrey, not the cartoon.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's like a real
version.
Yeah. So that was a pretty good one as far as Christmas movies. It just has a good story, good meaning.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Rain Report says you become an emotional leader of the secondary. What has seemed to rub off on Artie Burns and Sean Davis, and how much have they progressed since week 1?
I don't really know. I've been getting this question a lot about, me being a leader, me being an enforcer, all these different role type questions. I don't concern myself with that. I don't really spend a lot of time thinking about those things. I just come to work and do what I do. I don't take days off. I come in every single day in the building and I try to do the same thing over and over and over and over. Kind of like how Coach Tomlin kind of trains us. At this point in the year, it's to just be a routine for how you work and what you do. And I think maybe those guys seeing me do that, seeing Will Gay do that, I think maybe that's rubbed off on them. But I'm not really doing anything special. I'm just being the best version of me that I can be, and it's rubbing off on them.
Okay. Heather wants to know, where did Lurk Gang and 5 or 50 come from?
Good question. I was just explaining that. So Lurk Gang started, free plug right here, Lineberger Orthodontics. I was in Carolina. My orthodontist down there was used to tell me how I would always be lurking in the middle of the field, big hits, getting interceptions, things like that. And I just kind of liked how that sounded. Lurking's kind of an eerie thing. It's kind of creepy. It's kind of scary. So as a secondary, I took that since he said I was lurking. I took our whole secondary and called ourselves the Lurk Gang. Then obviously when I left there, those guys still stayed there. A couple of those guys, Josh Norman and those guys, they were in it back then. They still stayed there, but then I left. So I was like, I'm taking it. It started with me. I'm taking it with me. Now I just use it for any of my fans that just support and love me. That's who the Lurk Gang is now. 5 or 50 goes all the way back to, I think it was my junior year of college. I think that year I just came off of a really good year. I think I was top 10 at my position. I was actually thinking that I would leave Ohio University early. No one does that, but that's what I was thinking. And I ended up getting a pretty significant shoulder injury. And my junior year didn't have nearly as good as a year as I did my sophomore year. Ended up falling in those draft rankings or whatever. And my dad was like, it was February. I just had the surgery. He was like, you got 5 months until your next season. You can sit here in this funk, in this dump, and be down, and you'll end up getting a job like me for the next 50 years of your life. Or you can bust your ass for these next 5 months, and you'll end up living out your dream, which is having a great senior year, getting drafted, and going on to be in the NFL. And that's how we came up with the 5 or 50. It was either 5 months sacrifice, get your mind right, or do something you don't love for 50 years.
Very cool. Mm-hmm. All right, this one is from Jerry. What has been the biggest turning point for the defense for the Steelers so far this season?
That's another question I've been getting a lot. I don't really know if there's been one big thing I can just really point at. I just think at the beginning of the year we had a lot of moving parts. We had a couple different people that were starting, and then we kind of transitioned to the group that we have now. I think right now everyone's settled into, they know their roles, they know what we're supposed to be doing, and we're just executing. I can't really pinpoint exactly what it was. It hasn't really been one thing. I think it's just been the overall group coming together and developing like we should through the course of the season.
Okay, we just want to let everybody know quickly, the keyword today is division, so you can head to SteelersNation.com, enter the keyword division on the homepage. We'll get a few more questions in before Mike has to go. This one is from Ask23. How do you get yourself pumped up for a game like the Ravens, or does it start the day that you play them?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't require much. Everyone knows about the history of this series, the history that I may have with players on their side. So this game is very, very, very easy to get up for. At the end of the day, I've been excited for this game since I saw it was on the schedule. So
since April.
Yeah, we'll be ready.
Okay. All right, this is from My Steelers. Merry Christmas, Mike. If you weren't playing football, what other interests did you have in terms of a career?
I think, just out of high school, I think it would probably been like Navy SEAL or something like that. My dad always said, you're either going to get a scholarship or you're going to get into the military. And, thank God I ended up getting a scholarship. But I think now, I think it was my third year, I met a mixed martial arts fighter named Gilbert Melendez when I was out in Oakland. He's now in the UFC. He's a good friend of mine. I started doing a lot of MMA training, boxing, things like that. I think that's probably something that I would really be interested in. It's very humbling, but it's also very cool to be in a sport where it's all on you. And there's a lot of times in football, it's good and bad though. But there's a lot of times, you may be doing really well, but it's such a team game, you still might not win. Whereas, in a fight, it's whatever happens, that was all on you. You know what I mean? So you get all the good, you get all the bad.
All right, we have time for just 2 more. This one is from Santina. What has been the best moment of this season for you so far?
I don't think it's happened yet. I think it's getting really close. I think it could be a couple days away.
All right. And our last question is from Jonah. Who was your favorite player growing up?
I hate to say this based on the team that we're about to play, but it was probably most likely Ray Lewis. Growing up in the Cincinnati area, I think if people look at the way that I play, I'm a very passionate, fiery guy. I grew up right outside of Cincinnati, so always seeing Baltimore play. I just love the spirit and the effort in which he played with. I actually used to do his dance when he'd come out of the tunnel when I was in high school. Little did I know I'd be playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But yeah, definitely either Ray Lewis or Rod Woodson. I definitely remember him getting a lot of interceptions. Like I said, growing up in the Cincinnati area, always seeing those AFC North games. Those two players for sure stood out to me as being special.
All right, awesome. Mike, thank you so much for your time. Thank you to you, the fans. Don't forget the keyword is division, so you can head to SteelersNationUnite.com and enter that. So good luck on Sunday, and happy holidays, Merry Christmas to everybody. We'll see you next time on the Weekly Huddle.